Brokerage is the most widely recognized real estate activity. However, the industry provides many other services. These include appraisal, property management, property development, home inspection, counseling, property financing, and education. Most real estate firms specialize in only one or two of these areas. However, the highly complex and competitive nature of our society requires that a real estate person be knowledgeable in a number of fields. Real property can be classified by its general use as residential, commercial, industrial, agricultural, or special purpose. Although many brokers deal with more than one type of real property, they usually specialize to some degree. A market is a place where goods and services can be bought and sold, and where price levels can be established based on supply and demand. Because of its unique characteristics, real estate is relatively slow to adjust to the forces of supply and demand. The supply of and demand for real estate are affected by many factors, including changes in population and demographics, wage and employment levels, construction costs, availability of labor, and governmental monetary policy and controls. Most people think of land as the surface of the earth. Land includes the earth's surface, the mineral deposits underneath the earth, and the air above it. The term real estate further expands this definition to include all natural and human-made improvements attached to the land. The term real property describes real estate plus the bundle of legal rights associated with its ownership. The various rights to the same parcel of real estate may be owned and controlled by different parties, one owning the surface rights, one owning the air rights, and one owning the subsurface rights. All property that does not fit the definition of real estate is classified as personal property or chattel. When articles of personal property are affixed to land, they may become fixtures and as such are considered part of the real estate. Personal property attached to the real estate by a tenant for business purposes is classified as a trade or chattel, fixture, and remains personal property. The special nature of land as an investment is apparent in both its economic and physical characteristics. The economic characteristics are scarcity, improvements, permanence of investment, and area preference. Physically, land is immobile, indestructible, and unique. Even the simplest real estate transactions reflect a complex body of laws. A buyer of real estate actually purchases from the seller the legal rights to use the land in certain ways. Every U.S. state and Canadian province has some type of licensing requirement for real estate brokers and salespersons. We all must be familiar with the real estate laws and licensing requirements, not only of our own states, but of those into which their practice may extend as well. The law of agency governs the principal-agent relationship. Agency relationships may be expressed either by words of the parties or by written agreement, or may be implied by the parties' actions. In single agency relationships, the broker or agent represents one party, either the buyer or the seller, in the transaction. If the agent elicits the assistance of other brokers who cooperate in the transaction, the other brokers may become sub-agents of the principal. Many states have adopted statutes that require the common law of agency, and that establish the responsibilities and duties of the parties. Representing two opposing parties in the same transaction constitutes dual agency. Licensees must be careful not to create dual agency when none was intended. This unintentional or inadvertent dual agency can result in the sales contract being rescinded and the commission being forfeited or in a lawsuit. Disclosed dual agency requires that both principals be informed of and consent to the broker's multiple representation. In any case, the prospective parties in the transaction should be informed about the agency alternatives and how client-level versus customer-level services differ. Many states have mandatory agency disclosure laws. The source of compensation for the client services does not determine which party is represented. Licensees have certain duties and obligations to their customers as well. Consumers are entitled to fair and honest dealings and to the information necessary for them to make informed decisions. This includes accurate information about the property. Some states have mandatory property disclosure laws. In practice, Massive losses in the federal flood insurance program due to the Mississippi floods in 1993 caused Congress to pass laws that greatly increased the number of properties that are required to be covered by the NFIP. This requirement not only results in higher expenses for buyer, but can also negatively affect property values. Agents should pay attention to what property is in a flood zone and communicate that to potential buyers. Current trends in home ownership include single-family homes, apartment complexes, condominiums, cooperatives, planned unit developments, retirement communities, high-rise developments, converted use properties, modular homes, manufactured housing, and timeshares. Prospective buyers should be aware of both the advantages and disadvantages of home ownership. While a homeowner gains financial security and pride of ownership, the cost of ownership, the initial price, and the continuing expenses must be considered. One of the income tax benefits available to homeowners is the ability to deduct mortgage interest payments, with certain limitations, and property taxes from their federal income tax returns. Changes in income exemptions mean that most homeowners will never need to pay capital gains taxes on the properties in which they reside. To protect their investment in real estate, most homeowners purchase insurance. A standard homeowner's insurance policy covers fire, theft, and liability, and can be extended to cover many types of less common risk. Another type of insurance, which covers personal property only, is available to people who live in apartments and condominiums. Many homeowners' policies contain a coinsurance clause that requires that the policyholder maintain insurance in an amount equal to 80% of the replacement cost of the home. If this percentage is not met, the policyholder may not be reimbursed for the full repair costs if a loss occurs. In addition to homeowners insurance, the federal government requires flood insurance for people living in flood-prone areas who wish to obtain federally regulated or federally insured mortgage loans.